I was going to do the Angels in America review when I had my full makeup on, but then I forgot and I went to take a shower, so I don't know, get unready with me, I don't care. But first we'll start off with a vodka highball, and this is one of those trendy real lime, real lemon type things. So let's try this first. Whatever about the mess. So you're supposed to just open this top here. Oh, very carefully. And then there's a little lime inside. Taste test. It's limited edition. It's 7%. No, it's 8.3% alcohol, but it really doesn't taste like that. It just tastes like juice. It's really nice. Okay, now for Angels in America Afterthoughts. First off, I was super close to the stage, like within arm's length, probably less than arm's length, because if I just so much as kicked my foot out, I would have hit the stage. And what that meant was that for majority of the play, my head was like this. And if anyone was too inside, I couldn't really see them. And also, if sometimes they stood outside, like at the outer ring of the stage, and that was essentially like 2 feet away from me, and we kept making awkward eye contact. So half of the play, I was either just admiring the changes of expressions on their faces or like avoiding their eyes. First things first, this is a very emotionally charged play. I don't know how much I want to reveal about the plot because maybe someone want to watch it. So basically this is a 2-part play and this is only part 1, so it's more like the setup and the exposition. We haven't gotten to the ending yet. It's about mainly 5 characters and 2 of them has AIDS and everyone else has to deal with the aftermath of AIDS and mental health and a lot of... I'm really bad at explaining it, just Google it. Essentially, I understood the play, but it was all in Korean, so I don't have the English vocabulary to explain it. Also, I'm drunk. It was a very emotionally charged play. There were so many scenes where you could tell the actors were going through like 5 different emotions at once, and being so close where I was just 2 feet away, it was very fascinating to see people act out such emotions from up close. Especially, I think his name is Yoo who played Joe. You could see his face just change from frustration to despair to like vulnerability, even when it wasn't him, like it wasn't his main role and he was just standing at the side. I found myself watching him because he was just so interesting to watch. I went to this play mainly to watch Lee Taevin actually, who I also caught in Macau during the fan meet last May. And honestly, I wasn't really expecting that much, so I didn't look up anything about this play. I just went in blind, and I was so blown away by his acting, because we've only had 2 shows as a frame of reference for his acting skills, and he was basically crying for about 90% of this play, like just having an emotional breakdown. And it was so funny because he kept just like bawling his eyes out, even in the scenes where he wasn't supposed to cry. His eyes were just red rimmed. And I have a thing for guys who cry, so basically every single time Taevin was on stage, I was just like and then Yoo Seungho was actually really surprising as well, because I did not expect him to go all out for this character. He had to appear in drag a few times, and his character was quite feminine as well, also very hysterical. And I think he really captured the essence of struggling with mental health, as well as a sickness as painful as AIDS. But truly, I think the stand-up performances were from Yoo Jin and Go Jun-hee. They stole the spotlight whenever they were just on stage. Go Jun-hee was so natural whenever she was on stage. She was acting as a woman who had hallucinations, and was also doped really high on Valium, and she just had the type of like nonchalance that really just sold the character to me. There were many times when the atmosphere was so charged that when they were yelling at each other, I felt like I was in the room, like the bedroom with them, just being part of that argument. As a whole, it's a 3-hour long play, and this is only part 1. It started at 7:30 and it ended around 11ish, and I just took a red-eye flight yesterday, so I arrived this morning at 6:30 a.m. and I have not slept at all since. So by the 3rd act, I was so tired. But it was interesting. There were a lot of twists. I did not expect a sex scene from Taevin. Maybe I should have watched the source material, but yeah. There's also something that I always wondered about these kind of plays, which is set in a very specific scene and era. Like I watched the musical In the Heights in Korean last time, and I found it very awkward how they translated the setting of a bodega and all of the Spanish/Latin influences into Korean. In the Heights actually chose to maintain a lot of the Spanish phrases without even translating them, and I think Angels in America did quite a bit. So some of the characters would curse in English. They would just say a lot of phrases that didn't necessarily make sense in Korean. Like one line that stood out to me was when Pryor said, "I'm gay," and the person that he was speaking to was just, "What's wrong with being happy?" And he had to explain in Korean, "I'm gay as in homosexual, not gay as in happy." And I don't think the audience really grasped that. There was also another part where the character was black. So he was telling Taevin's character, Louis, "You hate me just because I'm a black trans man, right?" And it's acted by a Korean guy, so it's a little bit weird to me. And then there were full-on scenes talking about American politics, American race relations, and so many mentions of Reagan. And I'm not sure whether the Koreans even understood that. Like, how much do Koreans know about American racial politics and the Reagan era? Like, why do they even understand why they kept referencing it? So I still felt like it was a very strange play to adapt in the end. But all in all, I have never seen a play or musical that was acted this well. 100% recommend it. Initially, I wanted to watch 2 shows. I actually booked the Sunday show as well before I cancelled it to watch Kyuhyun's Frankenstein musical. But I also think that because it's so emotionally taxing, I would not recommend watching it twice. But I will definitely go back and watch the source material now because I'm really interested. Louis has a very, very long monologue where I only caught about like 70%. But it seemed interesting because he was comparing American versus British racial politics. And Taevin spoke very fast. My Korean is not 100% perfect. So I just want to know what that was about. All in all, good acting, weird play to adapt. Tiring. Anyway, I'm getting progressively redder and redder as I make my way through all the alcohol. So, good night for now.